Hello everybody, today I'll be showing you how to take the front sight of your Airsoft or potentially real AR-15 off of your main receiver and barrel, pretty much. I've been seeing a lot of posts lately on Facebook pages that I follow for Airsoft and stuff like that of people not knowing how to take their front sights off, and they don't want to go to a tech or anything like that and pay the $10, $15, however much it is depending on the tech, to take their front sight off. And what I've been seeing a lot of people do is they'll be taking a metal saw or something of that sort and cutting right at the tops of the sight where it goes from the barrel to the sight where the gas tube is, and they'll be cutting that off with metal saws. And it's way too much work, and you destroy the front sight. So I'm going to be showing you the proper way to take it off for the way most will be. Some companies for Airsoft will make it a little bit differently. I build all my guns myself because I used to be a part-time gun tech for Airsoft and stuff, but I've kind of left that for other stuff in college and school. So this is all my guns I built myself, so I don't have a lot of the problems that some people do with the flash hiders being lewd and things of that sort. But the first step you would need to do is take your flash hider off normally, and the way you do that is most flash hiders are which I believe it is counterclockwise, 14mm, and they would just be at the very end of your gun, and you would screw it off in this direction, and you would screw it off until it comes undone. Some of them are glued. When they are glued, you either have to simply force it off, potentially damaging your threads, or some nicer ones, if it's a metal flash hider, like if it's a KWA, they have small screws in areas right around here at the base fit, and they're very small hex keys, usually being a, let me check, I believe being a metric, I don't know if my camera's going to focus here. Come on. This is not a video camera, it's a photo camera, so being a 1.5 size or potentially smaller hex key. So you need quite small hex keys for that, but then you would just undo that, and sometimes those ones are glued, not normally. I got a KWA barrel one time from a friend of mine, and it did not. He'd never taken the flash hider off or anything. It was just a barrel that he had, external barrel, and I undid the screw and it just unscrewed right off, no problem, no glue or anything. So some nicer guns will have that. Other ones are just have plastic ones that are glued on. Those just dip them in boiling water or something of that sort for a little bit, hair dryer, melt the glue, and then you just pop them right off. So once you take the flash hider off, or muzzle device, whatever you have, you will see on the end, get this in the good angle, there are these two little slots. These will have pins in them, here and here. The pins are quite small, and these will be placed in, there will be one in each. Sometimes there's a third. I've seen on a couple different, on some of them, they'll see one here, and one up here. Not normal. There's not a lot that I see like that. Most of them are just these two, because those are the basic areas. So the first thing you need to do after you take the flash hider off is to pop those two pins out. The way I've always done this, I have a pin popper, and it's a solid piece of metal with a smaller end, and I just take the pin popper and a hammer. I put the pin popper pretty much on the top of the screw, take the hammer, and just pretty much I just whack it a couple times. Some of them can be a little bit tougher. For most of the ones that I've done work on, it took about 2 to 3 decent whacks. Nothing little light taps. It's usually pretty decent. It's not going to harm the gun unless it's some junky piece of plastic. I've personally a metal person. All of my guns are almost full metal. Like this one is a entire metal body, metal inners. Everything's metal. I think it weighs 9 pounds. Just by itself without any of my attachments on it, flashlight, sight, and all that. So it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good weight gun. So unless it's some junky piece of plastic, it's the pin pops. Even if it's polymer, most polymer ones will be able to take this, and you just pop it out. But even then, most metal barrels and front sights are made out of metal. I have had 6 different front sights at one time, and all of those were metal. The junkiest one was probably some cheap Chinese metal that they didn't put very much effort in. So once you pop those 2 pins out, most of the time for 7-inch rail systems, they will have a delta ring, which would be on the back part all the way back here, and the gas tube being this silver piece of metal coming out the top will be connected through a small little hole like that one. They'll be linked. So for the most part, once you pop those 2 pins out, you just have to make sure it's, for the most part, that your sight is pretty much lined up. Oops, sorry about that. And then you just pull. Sometimes you have to pull, wiggle it a little bit, and then you just keep pulling straight, and they'll slide right on off. Because it's pretty, for the most part, that's normally all you have to do. You can see, I'm trying not to come up my stand here. There's 2 little notches there, and that's where those pins were. So once you take both of those out, for the most part you're finished, and then you just, depending on the type of rail system you have, I have multiple rail systems right now, being, for this one at least, being this old Noveski something. I've had this thing for a long time, and it's seen so many battle hours. But this is a, once I put this ring on the inside, well actually, the first thing I need to do with that is I need to put the ring inside by unscrewing these side screws and stuff. Put that on, and then slide her on. For the most part, they're just screw-ons. For the most of them, small companies, big companies. I'm trying not to want to stand here. You just screw them on. Oh god, sit down. And they're on. And to take them off, exact same way. You just unscrew it. Some of them will be torqued on because that's how they're meant to be. They are meant to be torqued on. And for the delta ring, since most of the time, when you first are taking these off, you will undo all of these screws, and you'll have an AR wrench. And the AR wrench, there are grooves. I'm going to use kind of this for an example. There are grooves in the sides of the delta ring. Being this is not a rail delta ring. This is for a Magpul forward grip, the polymer ones. So this would hook into the side of it, and you would torque it. Normally they're much longer. This is a compact one to keep on my vest or something of that sort. So this one's not the best of examples. I don't have any full-size ones with me currently. So after you undo those screws, there's normally sometimes they're bigger ones like this, sometimes they're very small ones that datter they'll be like one here, one here, one here, one here, all the way around. And those are usually small hex keys, and you just unscrew those and pop them out. The rail system then will slide off, the delta ring remaining on, and then you have to use the AR wrench, or sometimes you can use a hammer and a screwdriver and whack it, or if you have good hand strength, you can pull it off, or rotate it off, more of unscrew it. So, for the most part, that's how you would take one off. I'm going to throw my flash hider back on. This is weird angle, hold it. Come on, boyo. There we go. Screwing it the wrong way. There we go. So once you screw that back on, for whatever, if you have whatever rail system you want, then boom, pretty much, yeah, rail system on. I'll do a full tutorial of how to put some different rail system on, because, one second. if you look at this one, this is a much different rail system. Like this one has screws at the bottom where you would undo these screws, this would slide off, and then there's a much more unique delta ring that uses friction and the force of these screws and how you put this on to hold it in place. So it's different for different companies and different guns. For the most part, that's how you take one off. It's a lot simpler than a lot of people think. Now if you want to get to some more advanced things like certain rail systems and flash hiders, that can be a little bit different, a little more work. So for the most part, that's all you need to do. You take off your flash hider in whatever way it comes off for that company. You punch those two pins out. Yeah. There. One there. One there. And it slides right off. So you don't need to torch your thing off or anything. All you gotta do is just punch those out, slide off, you're good to go. Find out what rail system you want or whatever adjustments you're gonna do. Switch out the front sight even. And that's all you gotta do. So, hope this was helpful for you people that need help with this kind of things. Might do some more tech videos depending on if people want to know like how to change out your stock, or change a motor grip, or put a grip on even a real IR if some people want to do that, because this is an Airsoft one. This is my training rifle. So, or even how to change out your bolt carrier or charging handle even. So, hope this was helpful for you people, and have a